Welcome to Totally Random Horror Films. I'm Tom. In this series, I randomly select a horror film between 1895 and 1989 and review it. Episode 10, going from one of the longest films I'll review to one of the shortest. Bullseye on what is widely considered to be the first horror film. I have to put that in quotes, but you'll understand why. Today's random selection is Alfred Clark's 1895 short, The Execution of Mary, Queen of Scots. I researched the usual places for information. The idea to include this film came from the Wikipedia listing. In the dawn of film, horror films were hard to come by. There are a few things one would look for, and death certainly is one. This is purported to be one of, if not the first, on-screen deaths in the history of cinema, which is why I'm including it here on Totally Random Horror Films. The Execution of Mary, Queen of Scots, also known as The Execution of Mary Stuart, or just Execution, was shot in the US and was released on August 28, 1895. It is not rated, produced and distributed by Edison Manufacturing. It is silent, black and white, and only 15 seconds long. It's available on YouTube and can be downloaded from the Internet Archive. The producer, Thomas Edison, was an inventor and businessman, arguably America's greatest inventor. Electricity, sound recording, industrial research, and of course, motion pictures were all areas he helped revolutionize. He invented the kinetoscope, and his studio made over 1,000 films. Kinetoscope technology is a filmmaking technique where only one person could view the film at a time through a peephole device. Edison never had a hand in the films he produced. The director, Alfred Clark, was born in New York. At 18 years old, he was hired by Thomas Edison to make kinetoscope films in his Black Maria studio. The studio was thus named after a police paddy wagon due to its cramped, stuffy quarters. Until this point, Edison had only ever filmed sporting events and vaudeville acts. Clark expanded this to productions with continuity and plot. This included The Execution of Mary Stuart, which also had the first special effect. Robert Tomei starred as Queen Mary. The only credit Robert Tomei has on his resume is playing Queen Mary. The production was Shakespearean, and in some cases this means that women are played by men. Tomei had no real part to play except to kneel down until the substitution cut. Time for the review. There is no spoiler review. There is no non-spoiler review. There is only the review. This film is 15 seconds long. There is nothing to spoil. It's the first horror film, more or less. If you're a fan, it's worth your 15 seconds to check it out. It's just cool to see such an old film. Mary, Queen of Scots, was executed for treason in 1587. She was involved in a plot to kill Queen Elizabeth I and take her throne. The most horrifying part of the whole thing was the axe wasn't sharpened enough and it took several messy chops to fully behead Mary. As I mentioned, this film is widely considered to be the first known film death, as well as the first film to use a camera trick, known as the stop trick, also known as the substitution splice, or the stop motion substitution. The camera is stopped, something in the frame is moved or replaced, and the camera rolls again as if no time has elapsed. Objects can appear, disappear, rearrange, and change completely with a well-timed trick. This film is public domain, so it can be shown in whole. Allegedly, some believe that the beheading was real and that someone legitimately gave their life for the purposes of the film, but that sounds more like hype to get people to see the movie in 1895. So that's The Execution of Mary, Queen of Scots. I'd say check it out, but if you've gotten this far, the joke's on you, you just did. Okay, I'm Tom, and that was Totally Random.